Yeah, I got a brewed a tea that a friend gave me, and it's called DMT.
Oh, yeah.
But like the tea is obviously TEA, meaning
Oh, nice.
deep and meaningful tea.
That's cool. Can I order
And it's
some?
tasty. Yeah, I'll bring you some.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
But your friend created this.
No, she just gifted me some.
Oh, she gifted you some. Cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
cool, right? So,
Yeah.
if there's any kind of segue into us having a deep chat,
Yeah. So I feel like you started
is
last week, so
mm,
I probably haven't been fully vulnerable. Like I've been listening back to our chats. I actually thought I'd hate listening to us talk, but it genuinely helps me. And like I could listen to them a couple times a week, and I do. And yeah, it just really motivates me, man, and just reminds me to keep on this journey. And it doesn't matter if one person listens or anything. It's like, because like you can get caught up in it all. Hey, like you're the
mm,
dopamine hit of people like your Instagram, and like you see the downloads and stuff. But then I listen to it and I'm like, I remember why, you know what I mean? Like you can tell yourself as much as you can, but
mm,
yeah, like yeah, I guess helps me move into the heart a bit more. But yeah, so fear is our topic today. So I'm gonna start with
is
uh, something I fear, something I've feared for a long time. Um yeah, my brain wants me to preempt this with a something first. Like uh but yeah, I've talked about like crying before, right? On here briefly. And it was just like little moments of just like I don't even know if I'd call it crying. It'd be like a like just like a 2 second laugh, but like
mm,
or at least I would block it. But yeah, yesterday, man, I fully what I would call like for me lost it, but the first time in
wow,
but yeah, probably for like 2 minutes just, and I don't know what it was, but um like it was. I think I was meditating. Obviously, this all happens when I meditate.
yeah,
I just found something in the body, and I think it was stored, some pain stored for a long time, and it just released. I think I'm getting a little bit addicted to the feeling after when you release something like that. That's probably, you don't know how long that's been stuck there
mm,
and what that's doing to you.
wow,
But yeah, I lost it, and I'm like, even like in that meditation just then, I was thinking about like saying this. Like we just
yeah,
meditated before we had this chat, and you know all those things that I've learned over my life. Like it's just don't be a pussy. You're a little bitch. Like I'm
yeah,
just so attached to this,
yeah,
to that emotion or that showing of emotion.
yeah,
Even though for me now it's just like such a powerful release and
mm,
what it does for me. But I guess and I can talk about it because I couldn't do it in front of someone. I'm not there yet.
yeah,
um,
yeah,
but I can talk about it because I know I've let go of that person. Like I'm so far from needing to be that person that doesn't cry, and
yeah,
and if someone came up to me and said like, I cry and I let this out, I'd be like, man, that's awesome. Like that's
mm,
so powerful. That's beautiful. Like you're letting, but like my internal dialogue, how I would talk to myself by that is so different. Like
mm,
I wouldn't call myself, I wouldn't say that's beautiful to myself. I wouldn't say that's, you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah,
that inner child, that fear. It's like even though I know I'm not that person anymore, I still think other people might see me that way. So I'm still scared of losing that perception that like, there's just this unneeded fear that if I'm honest, then people won't love me
mm,
or I won't be safe.
mm,
You know what I mean? There's safety in that person who believed you couldn't cry or you believed
yeah,
couldn't show emotions.
yeah,
So even though there's probably no one, everyone's probably, I'll put myself out there enough now that, everyone probably
yeah,
knows, but there's still that just clinging to that. So yeah, I guess I just faced a fear. Maybe that's a fear. Maybe it's not even a fear anymore. I don't know.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, I love that. Just the feeling of that release must have been awesome.
Oh man, yeah. I think I'm getting a little bit addicted to it. Like
Yeah. I mean, choose your dragon though, right? I think
exactly.
it's probably a good one
And
to
I was
chase for a
literally
little
just
bit.
like, I've been so confused this week, like so confused
Yeah.
over last week because
Yeah.
like I've usually wanted to avoid meditation, but
Yeah.
now I'm like rearranging my life to
Mm.
meditate. Like I am
Mm.
so in on it. Like I am
Yeah.
so in on this.
Yeah.
Like like I I'm not doing things just so I can have my time to meditate. It's my priority. Like it is
Yeah.
how I'm changing my life. But yeah, it's confusing. And then,
Yeah.
like I was in the shower before this and I just put on Ram Dass 'cause I need some motivation. But
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, when you first start to really believe and it
Yeah.
like and you get into that, like I'm caught in between two worlds.
Yeah.
The one of just fully letting go. Like there's a part of me that believes if I just fully let go, then I'll be no one. I won't have any money. I won't have any relationships. I will just like disappear.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
and then the other side's just clinging to everything.
Mm. Agreed. I think Duncan Trussell said something perfect on this, right? It's
Mm,
like a bad breakup, and the ego is just screaming, "You're nothing without me."
mm,
Like, you will not be able to survive without me. Like, I've created this perfect atom.
mm.
Why are you changing it? People will hate
Yeah,
you. You're
yeah,
nothing without me.
yeah. But I think I've like, yeah, gone enough to the other side now, but I'm just,
Mm.
you know what I mean? It's not that full on at the moment. Like the breakup, I think
Yeah.
the breakup was maybe last week, and then
Yeah.
this week it's kind of like I'm going back to the ex a little bit. I'm not sure. I'm going in between both. I don't know
Yeah.
what to choose.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just such belief, right? Like, and this is what the practice has been preparing us for, right?
Mm,
I think that's why we do it. I think anyway. But yeah, I agree with that so much. Like, this is the deepest I've ever been into it as well. And I think this is keeping us so accountable. Just like, even just like a little bit of pressure just to like, yeah, be here and show up for these chats.
mm,
You know what I mean? Is so good.
mm.
And I love that motivation just to like, so I can really be in these chats. You know what I mean? Like, really fucking be here because they're so good.
Yeah,
And yeah, so yeah, but that's awesome to hear
yeah. Thank you.
that you got that.
You got something vulnerable for us?
Nothing crazy. Nah. Um, do you want to start by kind of saying what fear is to you? Like, what, how do you,
Oh,
how do you see it?
I'm so confused.
Yeah. Fair.
I've thought
Yeah.
about this a lot, and fear
Mm,
is just everywhere, isn't it? It's like
yeah.
it can be. Um, I like. I think now that I've spent like the last since we've started this podcast, I've
Yeah.
spent so much time trying to face my fears that
Yeah.
I don't know if my fears are the same thing anymore.
Yeah.
Like this, just even admitting that, then like
Mm,
it's not really my fear. I don't know. I don't know what my fear is anymore because like I think for so long I've avoided telling the truth about my practice and what I'm into, and not avoided it, but I wouldn't tell people openly, like
yeah.
unless they had a chat with me about it, like unless we were in it.
Agreed.
So I guess yeah, now I'm just trying to figure out what is the ego and what is actually
Mm,
fear, because I like the idea of fear as my teacher, it's my guide,
yeah.
where if I follow fear, I will
Yeah.
continue to like transform and evolve.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know if because the ego can just play so many disguises, hey, and once you work out one, it just does another one.
That's another one. Yeah.
And like
100%.
I don't know if like I fear like to do with this podcast to like create more things, like create meetups and like connect with people and
Yeah.
like I genuinely want to do those things, but I don't know if I'm fearing creating something to do that or if
Yeah.
that's just like my ego wanting more, 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 more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like wanting to make this thing something else
Yeah.
instead of it just being it.
Yeah. Because it can
Um,
wear both faces, right? Like it can wear the face of, oh, you're gonna do shit. Everyone's gonna hate you.
yeah.
And it can wear the face of, like, if you don't do this, you're gonna be sad. You're gonna be,
And the judgment, man, like you're
yeah,
like, oh, you need to face your fear and do this.
yeah,
Otherwise you're shit. Like,
yeah,
so it's either like, don't do this, you'll be shit, or it's like,
yeah,
but so they wear both disguises. Like,
yeah.
and I'm really just struggling, like, and to work out what's my intuition and like
Which
what's
ones?
my
Yeah,
dharma and like
yeah,
trying to follow that. But I think it's a good problem to have.
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
And I think
And
I've let go of a lot of emotion lately, so it's like I'm open
yeah,
without like pressure of things.
yeah, yeah, agreed. And giving up the fruits of your actions, right? Like the outcome.
Yeah. Yeah. I still very much get caught up in the outcome, but I'm
Yeah,
trying. Trying not
yeah,
to.
yeah. I love that idea of letting go. Um, just like letting go of that story that, like, you could let go of both sides, right? Like you need to do good here, or don't do this, you're shit. Like just letting go of the story either
Yeah.
way, right?
So
And go on.
yeah, no, exactly. And I was thinking this exact same thing the other day, and
Yeah,
on the same day I listened to Ramdas, and he's like talking about chanting, and he's like, "Why do you chant?" You know
yeah,
what I mean? And then the next day, I don't know if it was that Jason Love one on Duncan, he also talked about his chanting, like the exact
yeah.
same chant, just like Ram, Ram,
And
Ram,
how it's
Ram.
become, yeah, and
It just
he's,
melts in,
yeah,
like you just become the witness and
yeah,
it just folds. So
yeah.
I'm just been doing that the last few days. Like every
Mm,
time I get caught up in it, I'm just like
Ram.
Ram, Ram, and like each time I say Ram, one of those stories folds on top of each other like a wave.
Mm,
Like it's
mm,
wave, wave, wave.
mm.
And then you're present.
You're present. Yep. And you're not the story.
Yeah, it's like a distraction, isn't it?
Mm. I mean, and you're probably going to do the exact same thing anyway,
Mm.
right? I mean, maybe. Who really knows?
Yeah.
But it's
Yes.
like that extra baggage thing, right? Like if you
Yeah.
believe this story or not, the exact same thing's probably going to happen.
Mm.
And it's
Yeah.
just that.
You're just not present for it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're in the story. You've already made it up in your mind.
Yeah.
Mm,
100%. It's just like,
mm,
yeah. What's fear
mm.
for you?
Um, so yeah, I think pretty much same. The one way that I can really see fear is through the stories. And when I feel an urge to do something, and then it's the what if this happens
Mm.
from me doing that thing, you know what I mean? What if I say this and then that person hates me and then um but yeah, like I said before, it can wear the other mask as well. But that's what I've been trying to, yeah, just not buy into
Mm.
lately, right? Like it doesn't really matter if I do it or not, but just like, yeah, don't really buy into it. into the story that I'm telling myself, and then that
Mm.
obviously spirals into more and more and more, and then you're just in your head for the next hour or two,
Mm.
right? About this one missed opportunity that you didn't speak up in a meeting or something like that, right? And yeah,
You want to share a
that's
story?
yeah. Well, yeah, actually, I mean, just like intuition, right?
Mm.
Um, like I want to be a good person, right? And being a good person has certain traits and stuff like that, and like speaking up and like defending, or not really defending, but just like standing up for what's right
Mm.
in a way. And a big I feel like fear gets in the way of that a lot. and like I would love to be like the person on the train who like, you know, tells the the very abled person to get off the disabled chair so that someone else can sit down. You know what I mean? And not in like a bad way, but that maybe they just weren't paying attention. But I wouldn't have the like courage to stand up and do that, right? So yeah, fear, because I feel that urge to do that. Like I see an experience unfolding in front of me in the external environment, and I don't want to enter it in case I get viewed as things get taken the wrong way or something like that.
So is it like you don't want to enter into a conflict?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
And you'd rather feel guilt and shame
Yeah.
for
Oh
not doing
wow.
it instead.
Fuck.
It's a
Wow.
lose-lose situation, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what
Thank
you
you.
say, like, is that even, this is what I'm stuck with, is that even fear?
Yeah.
Or is that just a judgment circle? You're
Yeah.
judging that person and then judging yourself for not doing
Yeah.
something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fear, but it's also like all just phenomena. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It's
and
fear of
you,
a conflict and fear of being viewed as a bad person, right? Like
yeah, and
fear's always there.
you'd rather stay in your known guilt and shame that you've been taught your whole life that
Mm,
you're this person. Stay
mm,
in your avoid conflict. Like, I think that was a
mm,
big generational thing for us,
mm.
is avoiding conflict. Like, I know this in my job, we're trying to teach people to like have conflict again because, especially with
Yeah.
COVID, like
Wow.
no one knows how to communicate anymore. And I think that was a big thing with us with social media and stuff. And we don't, it's that first generation with social media. We don't
Yeah.
enter into conflict.
Yeah.
Um, like, I'm scared shitless conflict.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you got to have that. And this is what I mean before. Like, if this is you telling me this, I'm like, you got to have compassion for yourself.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I can relate, because if that was me, I do the
Mm,
same thing. You don't have that compassion for yourself like you would have for
mm,
someone else.
mm.
Um,
Wow, that's an awesome insight. Thank you for
mm.
that. That conflict thing. Wow. It's definitely very much there. It's just another avoidant technique, right? Another thing we're avoiding.
Yeah, but then it's the like where you really, I don't know, maybe this is me avoiding doing that as well, because that type
Mm,
of idea I would struggle to face as well. Like, I struggle to
yeah.
face conflict. So then another part of me is like, well, can I justify it in that maybe it wasn't meant to happen? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's just all so confusing. And that's why,
Yeah.
like, rum, rum, rum.
It's just another story.
And then if I go and do it, I'm probably as likely to do it if I
Mm,
judge myself and feel guilt and shame as if I
mm,
just don't think about anything. You know
mm,
what I mean? Like, it's just, you're still going to the same place.
mm.
It's that extra baggage, isn't it? That judgment.
Yeah.
Um, I heard something really powerful this morning, like really, really powerful. So Wilson, which is Dwight on The Office,
Oh yeah. Oh
has
yeah.
has a podcast called Soul Boom.
Oh
And I was
yeah.
telling you about this, and his belief is like Gen Z are sparking the spiritual revolution. Like,
Yeah, cool.
we're the first ones to like really break out of that. Like, lead how to leave your life. Like, it started in the 60s, like a hippie revolution, but like,
Mm,
not just like work, retire,
yep.
have kids, do the right thing, God, Jesus, whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, Dr. Lisa Miller, she's a spiritual researcher at one of the big universities. Anyway, she was just saying, like, and I'm probably not going to get this 100% right, right? But it's this idea of a round table, all right? Because inside our minds at the moment, and I think everyone can relate to this, there's different parts, right? Imagine it's like a round table inside of you. And at that table, in that moment you were just talking about, there's judgment, there's fear.
Hmm.
Who else would you say there is there?
Well, it's like the intuition, right? There is like
Yeah,
that wanting to do good, wanting to do right. There is that.
yeah. Whether
Um,
that's intuition or is that someone saying,
yeah.
be good.
Yeah, be good, right? Yeah.
Is that
And
another
just
judgment?
following the set of rules
Exactly.
up there. Yeah. So
Whatever that means, whatever
whatever
good
that.
means.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is that intuition there, which is a good
Yeah.
thing. Like you've unlocked that a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
that's obviously there somewhere, but teasing out who that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's constantly on, right? That's our
Yeah.
round table that's
Yeah.
discussing things. And Godsey, I was listening to before, Eric
Mm.
Godsey was talking with someone about this, but like the transcript, that if you printed a transcript of what your mind says all day, right? And you just laid that out and you print that out and you read that, no wonder everyone's depressed, man, and got anxiety.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
there's so much judgment and hate there, and everything, guilt, shame, whatever. But that's our negative bias, isn't it? Like that's
Yeah.
our safety mechanism, our inner child. Like that's everyone. We tend to look at the negative.
Yeah.
But so let's just do like a practice. So if we create a new round table, right?
Yeah.
All right, I want you to think of 5 people sitting at that table who love and believe in you, like no matter what. Think of 5 people. Have them, like, imagine them sitting in that round table inside of you.
Yeah.
And then I want you to add your like highest, wisest self. So like in the future, whatever, wherever you're going, like that video last week, if it's your future self, whoever it is, like your wisest self, add that person there. And then add whatever you believe in. So like if it's the universe for us, or if it's a higher power, or nature, whatever it is.
Mm.
And you know what they would say to you.
Mm. Yeah.
Imagine what they
Yes.
say to you.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
can you accept that love that they're showing you? That's the game.
Wow.
Can you reveal one thing that they told you?
It'll be okay. I love you.
Exactly the same. You're safe.
Wow.
It's okay. Set the love. Just let people love you.
Yeah,
Let the
wow.
universe love you. Choose
Wow.
love.
Mm. That's powerful. That's
Fucking
cool.
crazy, right? Like I was
That's
listening to that on the way to
so
work, and
good.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
That's what I did before, like when we were meditating before.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Because what's the other option, right? The subconscious, like we talked about, is 95% program running the opposite, man. Fear, guilt, shame. Like we need to choose love, don't we? Like we're running a program of fear.
Yeah.
And you need to have a practice, and this practice is so important.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool. Even just thinking about the people I'd put up there.
Yeah.
Who just believe in me, right?
Yeah. Why did we not listen to these people, man?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
think like that's all the people you need in your life. Like,
That's cool. I like that a lot.
I don't know. It makes it like so much simpler, like, because you know exactly what they'd say to you.
And they feel separate from the action in a way. Like, say, for example, I was in my car getting fuel on Sunday on the way home, and I was waiting behind someone, and this guy, shirt off, like real surfer type, just taking forever to fill up his car. He's got to get like he's got to go around, he's walk around his car, and then he finishes filling it up, right? Closes the door, grabs his phone, he's about to walk off, comes back, grabs the window cleaner thing, starts cleaning every single window in his ute. I'm there just like boiled, bro. Like, come on, bro. I was tired. I was so tired. And I was angry, man. Like, I don't feel angry much, but wow. This dude was just obnoxiously annoying.
How do you not care about other people?
Yeah. Yeah. And then he finally went in and came out like ages after people who came in after him.
You know the exact like how many people went in before
Yeah,
him,
of course I
after
did.
him,
What
and
else was I
came
gonna
out.
do?
Yeah.
And then didn't even get straight into his car. Like just went around, like cleaned up a bit in his ute, like. And I was there just angry, but I was listening. I was listening to that David Nick Turn podcast,
Mm.
and I was just I felt just some space from it. You know what I mean? Some separateness from the anger, and the anger was there, but I didn't feel like, and I was like trembling and shit, but I didn't feel like super a part of it, right? And I just let it happen, and I didn't try to like, oh, you shouldn't feel angry, like you should be patient right now, like and stuff, like you should love everyone, and I just let it be angry, and that was a nice feeling, I think. And then I kind of forgot about it, and now I can laugh about it, right?
Yeah.
This fucking dude,
Oh,
bro.
piece of
I was
shit.
angry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in my I just had a moment where I was like, it's okay to be angry.
Mm.
Like
It's your
it's
practice
okay.
coming through.
Yeah, man. Like just
Little
let it.
moments. Little moments.
Yeah.
Little. It's a moment of magic, isn't it? Like as Jason Love or whatever would say from that.
Yeah.
Little moments of magic.
Yeah.
And that's when you open yourself up to that universe. Like you have little moments like that that
Mm.
just remind you
Mm. Yeah.
it's all
Agreed.
okay.
It's all okay. Yeah. And that's why I love intention, man.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week, but just like that, when you're about to make a decision and you just
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna
That's
make
like
that decision again.
I've been in like similar spots and like it more for me
Mm,
it's like if there's another lane and I've
mm.
chosen the wrong one, like
Oh
it's
yeah.
like a game in my head when I
Yeah.
roll like if that one's quicker. So
Yeah.
then I'm sitting there like intensely watching like, oh
Yeah.
man, how have I like it's like a little game in my head. But then I'm like, okay, like you said, like you let it go, but yeah.
Mm.
Let's just have a little giggle at yourself
Yeah. Yeah.
while you're watching.
Yeah.
And like if I have my intention, I'm like,
Mm.
thank you, universe,
Yeah.
teaching me patience.
Yeah, agreed. Right.
It's
It's just
obviously the
another
lesson I
gift.
needed to learn.
Just another gift. Yeah,
It's all
and
a
for
gift, man.
yeah, and it could be different. It could be teaching patience or it could be teaching compassion to yourself, right? Like
Mm,
be angry, my friend. It's okay.
yeah. And that's it.
Like
Like if you can
mm,
find a learning moment in everything
mm,
instead of potentially that becoming like
mm,
built up energy and anger, it becomes wisdom,
yeah.
and you
Yeah.
think about the best times in your life, they usually come after some of the toughest,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
There's
There's
a quote that I love, and it's like, you might think it's dark out there, but you've just been planted.
planted.
Yeah, like planted in the soil, and you're about to
Ah,
sprout.
you're right. That's awesome.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that so
you're
much.
about to sprout.
Mm,
That's awesome.
mm,
It's like if you think about it too, like there would be no such thing as light without like darkness because you
yep.
wouldn't know any difference.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. I
It's
love.
like when you were angry then, like you were gonna be angry.
Yeah.
Like you needed that. It's a needed emotion,
Yep.
you know. Whether you attach and cling to it and create a story about it, that's
Yep.
the suffering, isn't it?
Yep.
Not
And
the
that's
emotion.
a beautiful word that I think, we could just dive into so much, is that word suffering.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Because it's so attached to these words of anger, sadness, but I just don't think it has to be.
mm.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you think you're angry, you're suffering, but it's all about the mindset that you have around anger.
The
You know what I mean?
resistance,
The resistance to what is,
the clinging.
the clinging to it. Yeah. Oh.
I also kind of like the idea though, like there's always going to be tough things, but it's
Mm.
like, what are you willing to suffer for?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you choosing to suffer for? You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like, we're going to suffer. We have to work. We have to.
Yeah.
And I don't know, eventually, like maybe you become enlightened enough one day that, if you
Mm,
meditate for 50 years straight and become
mm,
enlightened, that you won't suffer. But let's be real.
mm,
We live in the Western world where
mm.
there's so many distractions and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'll ever get to that point as much as I
Yeah.
want to believe that I'll never suffer. But
Yeah.
if I can suffer for something I believe in.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, legit.
And Ramdas says, it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice?
Mm,
Am I willing to sacrifice Adam for this?
mm.
And I
Yeah.
think I am.
Yeah. And that's so, yeah, so powerful. I would say that would be my biggest fear, letting go of Jared. Like, wow. Like,
Letting go of safety.
yeah, and just the stories of, you've worked so hard to be this person, to become, liked, to just, yeah, be safe in your environment, to have a roof over your head, to have people like you and not want to attack you every second, and feel love, like that would be,
So you feel like that would happen if.
and then that's a story, yeah.
And that's scary, man. Like it is. It's like
Mm,
fear has a place, doesn't it? Like
yeah,
I wrote down like that book I keep telling you, The Courage to Be Disliked. Like it says every
yeah,
problem is an interpersonal relationship problem. And what that means is how you relate to other people, which exactly is
yeah,
conflict, isn't it?
yeah,
And the way I like to think about it is if you're the only person on this earth, right? You had all your same stuff.
yeah,
You wouldn't care about what you did,
yeah,
would you?
yeah,
You could walk around naked anywhere, you could do whatever you wanted,
yeah,
because there's no perception of judgment.
yeah.
And it's not that there's judgment, it's that there's no perception of
Perception.
judgment.
Yeah, wow.
That's what suffering is.
Yeah,
Because people don't tell you what they judge you, very rarely anyway,
yeah,
you know? Like except on social media, people keyboard warriors. Anyway, but in real life, people don't like
yeah.
conflict. They won't come up to you and
Mm,
oh, you're not this Jared anymore. Like
mm,
I hate you. You're the worst. We're not going to be friends. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like it's just not real,
yeah,
but it's our perception. I don't know,
yeah,
but I literally wrote this the other day. Like I fear conflict. I fear how others may perceive me. I fear
yeah,
rejection. I fear intimacy, letting people down. I fear not being good enough.
mm,
Like that's all interpersonal stuff. Like that's all my
mm,
relationships with other people and my
mm,
perception of how others would perceive me.
mm.
And
Wow.
it's not easy, man, is it?
No, no. Wow. Feels.
I can see you like staring with it, but your ego's like,
Some of
don't
those
believe
words.
it.
Yeah.
Not ready to let go
Intimacy,
yet.
rejection. Yeah.
Rejection's a big one for me. I get
Yeah. Wow.
real triggered.
Yeah. Triggered. Hey, that's
Mm,
an important point to make because it's easy to say these things from the outside, like, oh, I can stand up in the next situation. But when you're really triggered,
mm,
like far out, and you'll believe like all you hear are those thoughts, and it's just going and going.
yeah. Well, when
That's
you're
hard.
dysregulated, it shuts off your prefrontal cortex. Like your thinking mind literally shuts down when you're
Really.
dysregulated. Yeah, it
And
doesn't
that with
communicate. So it goes
dysregulated.
into survival mind. Imagine
Yeah,
that.
yeah. When you don't feel
Fight,
safe,
flight,
right?
freeze. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a natural
wow.
instinct. But like imagine you like getting
That's
attacked by a bear,
crazy.
you run, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't even think. Like it's your survival mind.
Mm.
Right? But our brain can't tell the difference between someone saying something mean to me over text versus a lion trying to eat me. It's all
Yeah.
threat. It's all
Yeah.
perception of threat.
Yeah.
It's all dysregulation. And that's natural. Like that's we're just so exposed to it these days. It's
Mm.
everywhere because we're just so connected all the time. We can never really disconnect.
How do we get there? How do we? I mean, do we just not fall into that unsafe zone? You know what I mean? Do we just keep our perception that things are safe?
It's awareness. I think you can train. You can train your
Yeah,
mind. I think meditation's, if you know your triggers, if you know
yeah,
your inner child, and if you know the stories and the narratives it tells you, you can catch it, can't you?
mm,
Like, and that's all it is. You can keep coming back to the present,
yeah,
and like that's why I genuinely use breathing techniques every day. I
yeah,
go to the gym and I turn my phone off and I
yeah,
just use exercise. And
yeah,
you know, you need to physically and mentally do a practice because the rest of the day I'm in a very full-on high stress mode.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Cultivating that safety, right?
mm,
In those states, yeah, that's beautiful. I like that a lot.
so hard to do, but
Yeah,
I feel like movement, releasing, like sitting,
mm,
there is ways like that
because
really
like,
help.
yeah, in this attachment style book that I read, um, right, you can have different attachment styles, but to gloss over that, when you're secure, when you feel safe, and when you're a baby, and so it is like when you feel safe, right, and you trust, and your mum leaves the room, right, you can feel still safe.
Mm,
You can still like she's left, but you can still feel safe. And then if you have like an avoidant attachment style or
yeah,
anxious, they leave and you stress, you're triggered, right? It's the exact same experience,
situation, yeah, yeah,
situation, but the body is in survival mode for
mm,
these different ones. So that, I
100%.
don't know, kind of gives me hope that you can cultivate that security
Mm,
and safety even when maybe you're not safe. And then maybe that's how cool stuff happens. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
maybe that's how people can be seriously courageous on a stage
mm,
and stuff like that in the face of adversity.
mm.
And that's cool stuff.
Yeah, it's powerful. And it's
Mm,
it's it's like we were talking about last week though, hey, like that emotion that they were feeling at the time, um, is that memory of mumly or that memory of whatever your brain uses to trigger that, right?
yeah.
That
Okay.
feeling of, and that's different for everyone, isn't it? Like you said, the
Yeah.
exact same experience, two people perceive it differently based on
Yeah. Wow.
safety or not safety.
Past
I think we
experiences.
can like create new experiences and
Yeah.
then like put new emotions onto those. And that's what we were
Yeah.
talking about with intention. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
And that's why like people use like there's like that MDMA therapy and stuff for
Yeah.
PTSD is really powerful, medicine journeys. But I
Mm,
even think just like meditation and
yeah.
other therapies. I've heard of like EMDR, which is like rapid eye movement therapy,
Oh
really
yeah.
powerful things. Yeah.
Mm,
Um, so I think there is ways, but you've just got to be willing to face it first, don't you?
yeah. Yeah. And move past that past.
Yeah, and find the right support and community,
Mm,
and
mm,
because I don't think it's something you can do alone.
yeah. 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 Reach out. Right.
Yeah.
Um, I read this beautiful, beautiful thing today. I think it was just on like Instagram,
Mm,
and I might butcher it a little bit, but it was like the movement from I to we. It was just like changing some I words to we words, and it was like
mm,
when I'm not ready to receive love, we aren't ready to give love in a
mm,
way, and when I'm not ready to, as like a community, right? If you're not willing to give love,
mm,
then no one in the community can receive love. Like if you were, just like a part of the one, like from a kind of a
mm.
community mindset.
Yeah.
And there was others, but I think that's so powerful. Like you have it within you to really alter the course of community and society. Like it's not just going to be given to you, right? You can't just go out waiting for love one day to come to you without ever giving love.
It's an energy, right? And it's
Mm,
exactly what we've been talking about, where you put your attention. Like it's
mm,
just like the negative bias. Our brain constantly looks and it attracts it. It's
yeah,
confirmation bias too. Like
yeah. Wow,
if I'm out
Jason
there,
talked about that
yeah, that's
so
exactly what
well.
we're
Yeah,
so well, man. And that
yeah,
magic, and that's what magic is, isn't it? If I
yeah.
go out and meditate, and I'm just sitting somewhere in a crowd and I'm just meditating,
Mm,
I'm just pure love and I'm putting off the
mm,
energy of love. I'm gonna get love, like you
mm,
said, but you have to be in that state. There's no such thing as love if you're not
mm,
ready to receive love, are you? And like if you're not experiencing love,
mm.
like
Confirmation
it
bias is so cool, right? Like you
crazy.
will make yourself right. Is that what you
That's
got
why
out
I
of it?
believe, man, like
Yeah,
yeah, like but why not harness that power as magic? I
yeah.
know like people get so woo woo around like, but it is
Mm,
magic.
mm,
Like you don't realize you're doing it already. Like
mm,
if you people really looked at their lives
mm.
and seen what they if they kept attracting the same thing over and over again,
Yeah.
it's just that habitual pattern, isn't it? Like what
Mm,
haven't you that's what you're looking for, like subconsciously. I know it's not conscious and that's why it's
yeah.
hard. Like you need to
Yep.
break that cycle.
Yep.
Um,
You do that through meditation, right? Through focus, through attention.
through meditation, man. And this is
Yeah.
why like it's just so frustrating that I don't know
Mm,
if it's got a bad rap, but
yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
most powerful thing, like without having to do medicine journeys and
Yep.
that stuff. And like you don't have to go anywhere, man.
Mm,
Like I don't know.
mm.
I wrote a bit of a thing the other day
Yeah, please.
about it's called just sitting
Mm,
because that's all we're really doing, isn't it?
yeah.
Like you can get caught up in whatever narrative and it's just like I don't know, I'm doing this meditation at the moment, like let go and there's no past, there's no future, there's no me
Mm,
meditating right now. There's just letting go of everything.
mm,
And it's like whether that's a bad, whatever I feel, my anger, whatever stories my brain's like, that's all okay. I'm not trying to
yeah.
not think. Like it's just
Mm,
accepting everything as it is. But and it's like it's it made me think like just sitting.
mm,
Like it's all you're really doing right now. It's all I've got to do. But then I wrote this. When I just sit, I can hear the birds sing. I can feel the cool breeze on my skin. I can see the beauty of nature and people around me. I can feel the energy of emotions throughout my body. I can sense the calm flow of the universe, just as it is. When I forget that I am just sitting, I'm thinking about work, conflicts, money. I'm planning every moment of my future. I am worrying, doubting, frustrated, blaming. I'm scared. I'm fear. Fearful for the unknown of the universe. Fearful of how others may perceive me. Fearful of rejection and conflict. Fearful that I am not enough. There's two worlds that I live in, one full of complexities and never-ending suffering, and the other simply just sitting. One there and then, one here and now.
mm,
Two worlds.
mm. That's beautiful. I love that.
Um,
I love that how we feel so addicted to this outwards expression of all that suffering that you mentioned compared to all that, and how hard it is to just be within and
mm,
sit. Like
just sitting.
yeah, we're so addicted to the doing, right? We're so addicted to running away from that beautiful feeling of listening to the birds. Like, wow. I love that. Um, just like the initial suffering. Um, so our ego is created to help us survive and stuff, right? Which with it brought suffering, um, in a way. And we just chase that forever and it gets bigger and bigger and the suffering gets bigger and bigger and we get caught up in our stories. And yeah, it just seems so counterintuitive. You know what I mean? Like we're chasing what? What?
Mm.
I don't get it.
And you can't run away from it.
You
And
can't.
that's what like Jason Love said in that podcast the other day with Duncan Trussell. He was at like, what was it, like that beautiful mountain somewhere? Like it's where everyone wants to
Yeah.
go. And you take your Instagram photo and
Yep.
you're still like, you think these things will bring you peace. We're all just chasing peace, aren't we?
Yeah.
And
We're going the wrong way.
going the wrong way. We're all going outwards.
It's like you've read The Alchemist.
Yeah, not for a long time though. I want to do it again. I'm gonna read it again.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, but he travels all over the world, doesn't he? Looking
Yeah.
for. Yeah, you could say it.
And the treasure was right where we started.
Yeah.
It
But
was here
also
all
like,
along.
but we also need that journey. Like we need the suffering. We need the. I think we forget that as well. Like.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point.
But I think that's why reflection daily is so important.
Yeah.
Because you forget one or the other, don't you? Like you either forget. You think you just need to go find, like do this, and like every like, and you'll never find peace that way.
Yeah.
Like it was here all along.
Yeah.
But we live in a doing world,
Yeah.
so we have to kind of still sit as the universe is still, at the end of the day, the universe, whatever happened today is my teacher.
Yeah.
Like there's still beauty you can find today. Like
Yeah.
I like to do it just as simplest thing, man, because my brain, as soon as I finish work, I don't want to think about it. Like, and it just assumes it was shit. Whereas if I think about it, I'm like, actually had a pretty good day. I was fine. Like this.
It's gratitude practice, right?
Yeah, it's just 3 good things. That's all it is.
Beautiful. Yeah.
3 good things.
Yeah.
3 good things. So simple, man. And again, it's another simple thing, isn't it? Like a contradiction and the impact that can have on your life. The simplest things, man.
Cultivating that joy, cultivating that safety, that gratitude. It's very powerful. I want to bring up something that Jason talked about in that podcast.
Yeah. Please.
What a good podcast. Did you know he's the soul bird in Midnight Gospel?
Yeah.
So good. So good.
And David Nickton's one of the other ones.
Yeah. The meditation guy.
Yeah.
And there's an episode in there about magic actually, but it's not by Jason. And literally in the first 5 minutes, the guy says nothing, right? And then he sits down and he's like, just before we start, magic is about channeling your energy and like pure attention. You know what I mean? And where your attention is, and that's why we meditate. So we can focus on what we want.
On your intention.
On your intention, man,
that's
right?
so elegantly put.
Yeah, agree. Like he is that is the whole practice, and that's why we meditate. So we can focus the mind.
So you're not in the subconscious programming. You can choose your own.
Yeah. 100%. So cool. Anyway, I recently watched it again. But Jason, so good, man. So good. Jason explained in that podcast with Duncan Trussell, which I felt really resonated with me. He said he teaches moving away from the concepts of good and bad and instead assigning experiences, objects, phenomena with elements like earth, air, water, fire, energy, mind.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And I've been trying to do it and it's so cool. Like I'll just be like at work typing and I'll be like, oh, this is so earth. You know what I mean? Like,
whoa.
Yeah. And just moving away from the good and bad. And you can do it with people too. Like I could describe people with these qualities because it's all just qualities, right? Like good and bad have different qualities.
So crazy that just somewhere along the line we've started putting everything into 2 boxes.
Two boxes,
good or bad.
Yeah. When there's like
so 50. Why not create like your own boxes?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And this anger that I'm feeling now isn't bad. It's just
No.
fire.
Yeah. It's fire. Yes.
Yeah.
What's it gonna create? You
Yeah.
alchemist.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's so cool.
So cool. I loved when he said that. I was just like, wow.
What's this
Yeah.
moment?
Huh?
What's this moment?
Right now,
Yeah.
I feel water.
Water.
Yeah.
Just flowing.
Real flowy.
Yeah, flowing. I like it.
I love that. And we're getting smashed up against the sides, but that's all right. We're moving.
We're moving.
Yeah.
Man, water's such a crazy thing.
Mm,
It just bends. It just flows. Does like a
mm.
like a
And
create.
molds.
Imagine your Dharma just being like so simple.
Yeah.
Maybe it is for us.
Maybe
We
it
just
is,
go.
bro. All it is just you going around in this like waterfall whirlpool
Yeah,
thing. That's your
that's
entire
all it
Dharma.
is.
That's all
I've
it is.
always just been so in awe of trees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so still, blown in the wind, but just
Mm,
so alive and just like you look at a big
mm,
tree, man, you think like 300 years, like what have you
mm,
seen? And they are
mm,
living things.
mm.
Like they grow.
Yep.
They might not be conscious, but they are living things. And
Mm,
I've just worked it out.
mm,
Like that's like the definition of that simplicity to me. It's just like
mm,
they can just be.
mm.
They don't ever have to do anything except grow
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
Mm,
And they're not concerned about dying there.
mm,
They spread their roots,
mm,
they're all one. Like,
mm.
yeah, I don't know. Sorry, bit of a side note.
Cool. You know, I really feel what like kind of nature thing that I really feel connected to is wind.
Oh, I love wind.
I love wind, man. That's just
Yeah.
feeling it on my skin, and
Mm,
it gets everywhere. Like you can be in like a really I don't know, like someone's backyard, right, full of houses around you, and you just feel it,
mm.
and
I've
you're
been
just
in some
like,
deep
oh,
meditations where it's like I felt it and I'm like,
mm.
hello, Fred. It's
Yeah,
like talking to me. It's
yeah,
like intuitively, not even like a weird,
mm,
you know what I mean? Like it's just
mm,
so gentle, isn't it?
mm.
I
Agree.
don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny to apply that, same logic to you. Like you are exactly as you are.
But we cling to these stories about who we are, don't we?
I mean, that is you though,
Mm,
right?
true. True.
It all is. It's that a tree from the outside looks like it's accepted who it is.
Mm. Too much.
Can you imagine it's just like in its roots being like, fuck, I just
Yeah.
wish I had some hands, man.
Yeah.
I just want
But
to give
it's
my
just
brother, my homie a hug.
let
Like,
him
man,
know
what?
it's gonna be
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, let him know it's gonna be okay. Like,
He'll be at the round table.
yeah. Yeah.
That's the universe though for me, isn't it? It's all that, all nature.
Mm.
But
Couple quotes from the Bhagavad Gita that I'd like to share if you and I'd like some of your insights on.
I love that.
Um, so first one, it is not I who acts, it is the self. Second, the immortal soul is more important than the passing soul.
So
That's all I got.
both are like seeing, I don't know how you interpret this, but I kind of seen that both are seeing yourself as a part of the one.
Mm,
So like a passing soul, is that like you're not just here for this iteration?
Yeah, this incarnation.
Yeah. You're part of something much, much larger.
Much, much larger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's such a cool concept.
Yeah. What was the first one?
It is not I who acts, it is the self.
Mm.
Which
So
just makes
like,
so much sense to me, man. Like, and it's that ability to, like, I will still be alive. Like, I will still eat food if I just stopped, like, trying so hard, right? I don't know. Like, if I just, yeah, enjoyed it more, if I just breathed more, more, I would be able to, instead of just constantly storytelling, I would
but you
be
just
okay.
you just told me that that's a part of you too.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, that was the trait. Just
Agreed.
accepting it all.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why it's so hard, isn't it? And like,
Mm,
I'm stuck at the moment because I've started to like face my fears a little bit. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not sure what I actually fear. Like the other day, right? I used
Mm,
to think I had social anxiety, right?
mm,
So the other day I had work drinks, right? We had a big day, like fully listening about this presentation that we have to teach or whatever. Anyway, big day. So I've been sitting all day watching in like a room. And we had like a social drinks Christmas party after. And I was gonna go, like I wanted to go. But then we had the next day, it was the exact same thing again. And I hadn't been in the gym the day before. And I wouldn't be able to go the next day. And I just needed to let that stale energy out, like for my mental
mm,
health. Like I
mm,
knew, but which one's the harder thing to do? Like we talk about
mm,
training that muscle. Was it
mm.
to go to the party and be social? Like I wouldn't
Yeah,
have drank or anything. Um, or was it to go to the gym and make myself feel like sit with myself and make
mm,
myself feel better? And I know I would feel better.
yeah.
Anyway, I chose myself. Like I chose,
Mm,
and it's like to me, I'm going, but like, am I just avoiding? Like, as a part of me, am I just avoiding social situations?
mm,
Or am I like, I know that I can't receive love unless I'm feeling like I can, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I can't give love unless I feel like I can receive love. And I needed to do that, my practice to be in that state of mind.
yeah.
But is that an excuse?
Mm,
And
yeah,
I- I'm really struggling to, and this is me analyzing everything, isn't
mm,
it? Like,
yeah,
instead of just like, but when you become so aware of everything you do
yeah,
and every decision you're making,
yeah,
I'm kind of like that mind can play so many disguises, can't it?
yeah. And it's funny, awareness is funny, right? Because it's just another story.
Yeah, yeah. But like, it's also beautiful. You have moments where you just like, I guess I'm being less in the subconscious mind and just being robot. Like I'm
Yeah.
catching myself. Like usually I'd just be asleep and I wouldn't even think about it. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
mm. But that
Like I'm at,
thought that you have to, okay, maybe, right? Maybe that thought that you have to either work on yourself or you have to go be social isn't the awareness.
yeah. But my intention is people, right? I want to
Yeah.
connect with people more. So I was like,
Mm,
I should go to this thing.
yeah.
But then my intuition was like, I don't know what these things are. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, and none of it really matters, man. Like I know,
Yeah.
but like it's yeah, it's that analyzing brain's still very strong, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to
Yeah.
like I want to use fear as my teacher and I want to go towards like and I guess I don't know what was the reason I felt I had to go. It was like guilt, I think, for not
Yeah.
going. And then
Yeah.
if that's guilt, then that's not the right reason, is it? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. And I went and like I saw those people all day, and then I saw those people the next day, and then I did a
Mm.
social thing Friday night that I never would have done before.
Yeah,
So it
cool.
wasn't fear. Like
Mm.
I'm not scared of that anymore. Like I'm
Mm.
not. So do I still have to go towards that?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know,
Now
man.
you have the freedom, right? Now you can choose.
I'm free, and
Yeah.
it creates more.
Mm.
This is why intention is so important, isn't it? Like I need to make sure I put that intention in at the start of the day
Yeah.
because then you don't think about, oh, what's the right choice here? You just go
Yeah.
with your intention.
Yeah.
What energy do I want to attract?
Yeah. 100%. And that, I think that asking the question is all you need, right? And there was I think it was a Rich Roll podcast where he had this like Harvard professor on, and she was like, "Don't make the right decision, make the decision right."
Yes.
It doesn't,
Yeah.
yeah, really matter. And that process of you actually having an active contribution to the choice
Yeah.
whether you're going or not is so, yeah, yeah, be grateful
Yeah.
for that because
Yeah.
I'm
Like
sure a lot of,
usually like I would just like you said, like shut off and the subconscious would do
mm,
what it wanted to either way. But
mm,
I genuinely could have gone either way. Like I
mm,
was in full control of that decision.
mm,
Like there was no subconscious self there.
mm,
Like I was happy to do both or none. Like
yeah,
such
yeah,
a confusing moment, but yeah, so freeing, isn't it? And
mm,
like,
that's cool. Do both or do none. It's yeah, that's cool. At the start of the Bhagavad Gita, right, it explains this story of a war, and one of the one of the main characters in the story explains to Krishna,
Arjuna.
yeah, Arjuna, yeah. Have you read it?
No, but I've listened to enough. Like,
Yeah.
I think I know this story,
Mm.
but
And
I haven't read the
Arjuna is,
Bhagavad Gita. Keep going.
yeah, and Arjuna is in a conflict whether he fights for the side that he thinks is right by
Mm,
overthrowing like the central government, or he loses or like purposefully loses, like tells his side not to fight. And yeah,
mm,
Krishna is just like, either way, you die and you get to live like with me in this happy place, or you fight and you win and you overthrow the government and you get to enjoy this place now.
mm,
Like, and that's, yeah, I think
mm.
that's really cool. Like,
Yeah, it's how you come there, isn't it?
yeah,
It's not what you choose.
yeah, yeah, and how you can like live with yourself afterwards, and like
Yeah.
how you're
And
gonna view it.
it's that choosing love or fear, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
am I coming to this from a place of fear or am I coming it from a place of love?
yeah,
And I think I could have chosen even in those moments and it would have been love. Like love
yeah,
for myself and my practice or
yeah,
love for the people that I wanted to connect with.
yeah,
Like as long as and that was the weird thing was for once I wasn't coming at it at a view of fear,
yeah.
which is just
Epic.
crazy.
Awesome.
And then the next day, I don't know, man, like I don't know, I chose that right and I did my and I feel so good after it. And the
Yeah.
next day I had the training again. We had to present, man, that was facing a fear.
Oh
But I
yeah.
was in the mindset where I could attack it. Like
Mm,
I sat like I had some thoughts, man.
mm.
Some self-doubting thoughts.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Presenting in front of your peers, one of the
Mm,
toughest things, especially with imposter syndrome.
mm,
Um, but I could do it. And
mm,
in the bright mindset at a place of love and acceptance for myself and everyone else.
mm.
But yeah, so it all works out, doesn't
Every single
it?
time, once
Every
again.
single time. And that's what I mean. We want to know if there's a right answer. We
Yeah.
want to know, don't we? Like, well, I
Mm.
do anyway. I want to analyze everything, conceptualize. I don't think there's an answer, but
That's a good point. Right and wrong, good and
mm.
bad.
I just need to put
Do they exist?
it is water. It is
Yeah.
earth.
Right. Yeah. How cool is that? Like, one option is fire, you getting
Yeah,
to hang out with these people, and one option
yeah,
is air.
yeah.
How cool is that?
That's so cool.
I love that. That's epic.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so good to sit with, isn't it?
Mm.
Mm.
you have anything you want to end on?
It's something I do fear. Like I think I sat with this really the other day, and
Yeah.
it's so easy for myself to be like, yeah, I trust the universe, right?
Yep.
Like I don't trust people. Like, and I can't. If I'm to really go deep in this, you can't pick and choose.
Yep.
Like you can't say that you trust when you pick what you trust and pick what you don't trust.
Yep.
Um, like it's not enough just to trust the universe.
Mm.
I have to surrender to it all.
Yep. And trust yourself.
Yeah, and I don't know where this distrust has come from,
Yeah.
but it is, yes, I can see it so clearly, man.
Mm.
Every day when, especially like around friendships and
Mm.
relationships, and it is choosing fear. It's choosing fear instead of love. So it's that, you know, people sitting at my round table, can I accept their love? And that's what it is, isn't it? Like if I'm not accepting the love, I can't love those people.
Mm. Yeah.
Like you said before, like you. So that's I think the next thing for me. Is,
Mm.
yeah, really leaning into trusting, and I think like really thinking about sacrifice
Mm.
and sacrificing that need for safety and
Mm.
what am I willing to sacrifice that for? Like I listened to a Ram Dass thing the other day on that sacrifice, and it's just
Yeah.
like, am I willing to sacrifice Adam?
Mm.
And I think this is something I'm willing to sacrifice it for. Like if
Mm.
I can motivate one person to connect with themselves or connect with someone else, like it's that power of vulnerability. If you're vulnerable to someone, then they're a lot more likely to be vulnerable themselves. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like I wouldn't be here without you, you know what I mean? Like my practice, it's like exponential and bring some maths into it. Like over the last 6 weeks, it's just skyrocketed. Like what I've learned and sat with and gone through, like, and that's that power of vulnerability, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah. Agreed. It's so cool to be here.
Yeah, and just letting
I'm
people
so
know, like,
grateful.
it's not
Yeah.
personal. It's not. It's just an experience,
Yeah.
and there's just this other world, and it's
Mm.
like that. What I wrote before, just sitting. There's two worlds,
Mm. Yeah.
and there is like, I just want to tell people, like, and I'm willing to sacrifice Adam to let people know that. So if I can help in any way to do that, let me know.
Please reach out.
Please reach
We are
out.
here. Come hang
Yeah,
out in this, yeah. Second
yeah,
world.
yeah. So whether we like, I don't know, have a host, like even an online thing, we just like give
Yeah.
people the TC, be like,
Yeah.
come and say hello,
Yeah.
come
That'd
share
be
a
cool.
fear,
Mm. Come share a
putting that
fear.
out into the universe,
Mm.
as well as I'm still trying to manifest someone to give me $2 million or the universe to give me $2 million to build a retreat.
Yeah. Yeah.
A retreat center in the mountains somewhere.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Mm.
Finishing words,
Um,
thoughts,
yeah.
experiences.
Face fear. It'll be okay.
Except if you don't.
I mean, you're gonna anyway.
How good's that feeling after you do something that you've been
Wow.
putting off, or it could be and it's different for everyone, isn't
When you
it?
finally
Like,
eat that death cookie.
yeah, and we'll explain that one day, but
Yeah.
deep down inside of you if there's something you have been not telling someone, or
Yeah.
there is something that you need to start like a conversation with a friend, or you need to create an account for something you want to do, or you want to create something,
Mm. Yeah, what part are you scared to share?
Mm.
That you know you should, that the world is just
It's
gonna.
literally it. What are you worried other people will perceive you?
Mm,
Be scared. And
mm,
it's not easy, is it? Because I know
yeah.
there's some things that I still haven't given up yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you still got to live in the world, don't you?
Yeah.
And yeah, hoping one day I don't have to rely on the world
Yeah.
for money, so I can.
And yeah, Jason really perfectly elegantly put this, that the world, this consumer world, is just so good at
Mm,
covering up that voice inside of our head that wants to create. It's so good at putting us down. But I promise you, like, yeah, you should not be down, right? Like, you should not feel the doubt. Like, you don't have to.
mm,
It's just, yeah, been ingrained and made us feel shit for so long that we just, yeah,
yeah.
don't trust ourselves and don't believe in
Mm.
ourselves. And
I
that's the
mean,
practice, is
yeah.
recovering that.
If me and you can do this, probably, I don't know. My self-doubt is freaking ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
so if we could do this,
Yeah, anyone can, right?
anyone can.
Yeah. And how cool is people creating, man? Like, I just love,
Yeah.
I love, yeah, connecting with people who create and stuff. Anything, like literally anything. So cool. So cool.
All love.
All love. Thanks for today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.